Right now, Dead by Daylight's in a really sneaky situation. We still don't know when the PTB is. We still don't even know who the killer in the new paragraph is going to be, but we do have a developer update that's kind of going to give us stuff that's coming with this update in November. So before we break all that down, welcome back, Deadites and Ghost Speeders. If you're new to the channel, I am Old Head Gaming. Of course, you want to keep up on all the latest horror ASIM news. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, turn on the notification bell for all horror-related content. And now let's take a look at the developer update for November 2023, coming with this latest paragraph update. The end of the year is almost upon us, but we still got some news to share. In this developer update, we'll cover some of the new features, balance, and changes that are making way to the game in our next update, including a new customization option, a sizable update to an existing killer, and gameplay passes for 2 realms. And first, we're going to talk about the player cards. So as you can see right here, I'll blow the picture up so we can see it a little bit better. This here is the new player card. It's got its own little icon. It's also seen right here. It'll be available on the scoreboard. So this gives you a little more customization to your character, making them feel a little more internal to you. All right, a new customization option has arrived. Player cards are decorative banners and badges, which will appear in the top right corner of various menus. Your player card will also be featured in post-match scoreboard. Banners and badges can be mixed and matched as you please. Higher rarity ones will be detailed with some even being animated. Okay. Like other cosmetics, you'll be able to earn them in various ways, such as events, rifts, through login rewards, and promo codes, and so on. With this update, we also cleaned up the menus and moved your player level and grades to a new player profile screen, accessible by clicking on your badge. A small selection of player card options will be available starting with this update, but you'll expect to see more in a wider range of choices appearing over time. Okay, this is pretty cool. I like the fact they're giving more individuality to people, because sometimes the game can feel very cookie cutter. Our boy Trickster, what are they doing with the Trickster? When he's not working on his next album, of course, the passionate music maker, he follows his other passions, throwing a boatload of knives at survivors. And in this update, we're aiming to address the points of frustration with both sides. For killers, many feel like Trickster doesn't quite stack up with other ranged options, and for survivors, dodging blades can feel inconsequential since so few would injure you, making it feel unavoidable. We'll be making a series of balance and quality of life changes to this rapid fire killer. Okay, first, rapid fire. Trickster's fast-paced attacks were what set him apart from other ranged killers, so we wanted to focus on this rapid fire or machine gun-like gameplay for the update. We asked ourselves, what's better than throwing a bunch of knives? Answer, throwing even more knives. Well, that makes sense. Trickster now throws 4 blades per second, was 3 by default, and his throw rate no longer increases with each blade thrown. So it's much more consistent, but he throws faster. Okay, I can live with that. To keep this feeling fair for survivors, we have also increased laceration meter to 8 hits, up from 6 it was previously, and decreased the time before it decays to 10 seconds, it was 15. So decrease comes down, hit bar goes up. Okay. That means that laceration meter will fill at the same rate as before, but successfully dodging blades will be more rewarding. Lastly, recoil when rapidly throwing blades can be tricky to deal with, particularly for those players with a controller. Therefore, we have removed recoil entirely. Okay, I used to always say, as a PlayStation player, I hated playing Trickster. I kind of felt with joystick he did not feel great, and then when I switched over to PC, he was one of my favorite killers to play. So I'm all for this. Removing recoil definitely will make him better for console players without a doubt. This will make blades easier to control, making them more skill dependent. The downside, you won't be able to blame the recoil for your blade misses. That's fair. If you still suck with Trickster, you just suck with Trickster. Fast-paced. To complement his quicker throws, we have also reviewed Trickster's movement speed. The Trickster now moves at 4.6 milliseconds per default, up from 4.4, so they made him a little quicker. This puts him on par with fast killers. As a result, Trickster's terrier radius has been increased to 32 meters, up from 24. Okay, so this is an interesting tweak to him. This will not only help him close the gap during a chase, but also spend a little less time traversing the map looking for the next target. Combined, these changes will leave Trickster feeling much more agile and fast-paced, which he should have always been in the first place. Main event. Main event allows you to throw more blades even faster. However, this requires you to hit quite a few blades to activate first, taking several chases to charge up. This made it fairly rare for the killer, but also made it a little frustrating if you happen to be unlucky survivor to be caught when it finally had activated. As a result, they're making the following changes. Main event now requires 6 blades to charge. Was 30. Holy shit. Main event duration reduced to 5 seconds was 10. Okay, so you used to get this nice 10-second window with main event, but it took you 30 blades. So you're going to be seeing main event a lot more frequently with the shorter duration. I love this. Absolutely love this. These changes will make a main event available much more often, but require a killer to use it strategically to take advantage. Holy cow, this Trickster change is fantastic in my opinion. I have really shelved Trickster just because I felt like he wasn't living up to what he should be, and now I definitely will be taking Trickster out on the PTB to try him out. Of course, we're gonna have a new killer, but we'll try out both. Add-ons. Lastly, we review the effect of handful of add-ons. Memento Blade new effect, decreased time between blades by 5%. Inferno Wires increased duration of main event by 40%, was previously 25%. And this makes sense because it puts it much closer to that full 10 seconds we were all used to. G1's Autograph new effect, decreased the number of blades required to charge main event by 1. That'll drop it to 5. Holy shit! Tequila Moonrock increases duration of main event by 60%, was 50%. Fizz Spin Soda decreases the number required by 2. So now you're talking 4 for main event with Fizz Spin. Whew. Waiting for You Watch, increase the duration of main event by 0.25 seconds for each blade hit while is active. It was previously 0.4, so we dropped this down a little bit. An Iridescent Photo Card, new effect for each consecutive blade hit, gain 1 stackable 1% haste effect up to a maximum of 7%. The bonus is lost when missing a blade or putting survivor into dying state. Wow! I absolutely love what they're doing with Trickster, and I feel like this is a really, really good change. Looks like we're also going to take a look at every survivor's favorite perk made for this. Even a small speed boost can make a difference in the right hands and making some survivors very difficult to catch. Since Made for This would activate as soon as a survivor became injured, the perk would often be unavoidable. To make this fairer and create opportunities for killers to play around, we have added additional condition to the haste effect. All right, how are they tweaking this? After healing another survivor, gain endurance effect for 6, 8, 10 seconds. That's completely unchanged. I was gonna say, that's exactly the same. While you are affected by deep wounds, you run 3% faster. Since this is much more situation, the effect now applies while exhausted as well. With this change, a killer can potentially prevent Made for This speed boost from activating entirely by avoiding inflicting deep wounds on a survivor. This also ties both the Made for This effect together with a way of granting deep wounds in order to make the haste effect. So now you're going to basically need to run something like Dead Hard or be going against Legion to make Made for This as good as it was. This is a huge nerf to Made for This. And every killer is going to rejoice. Like, they're going to be screaming, "Loaded, this is the best thing ever." Every survivor's going to be like, "Fuck this." This is going to be controversial. Garden of Joy. Joy for some, at least. We have gathered and reviewed the feedback of Garden of Joy in this update. We'll make a series of changes to improve gameplay. First, we have turned attention to the windows of a large house. Previously, there were several strong windows which grant survivors plenty of distance each time they vaulted, making some chases drag on. We have reviewed the layout of the windows and breakable walls to make the chases in this building fairer. Second, we have rebalanced several pallet loops to bring them closer to the sweet spot. They were both useful to survivors and have potential for killers to play around them. We have also cleaned up certain loops and removed some small objects which players may bump into by mistake. Lastly, we have made a few art changes throughout the map, both improve the visibility of objects which block your path and introduce small pieces of lore throughout the environment. Personally, I hate the Garden of Joy. I never want to go there. I call it the Garden of Joy list. I think most of us do. Terrible map. I've hated it since it launched with the Roots of Dread. The Red Forest, which is an okay map, I don't mind it. Red Forest is home to both Mother's Dwelling and Temple of Purgation. We have similarly reviewed feedback for both maps and are making a series of changes to improve gameplay upon them as well. First and foremost, size. The two maps are some of the largest in the game. They can cause some gameplay issues, costing the killer a lot of time to cross from one end to the other in search of survivors. We have reduced the size of both maps to bring them in line with the rest of the realm. I like that. Second, we have reviewed various pallets and loops and reduced the amount of vegetation surrounding them, making them easier to play and identify as gameplay loops. And with that, we have reached the end of the developer update. Every mentioned in the post available to public test build, which is starting November 8th. We now know officially that Wednesday, November the 8th, is going to be the update, and that will be going live. My guess is we'll probably see the teaser before and then just drop it live at 11 a.m. This is cool. Reading these developer notes has got me really, really excited. Of course, we're all excited to know what's going on with the paragraph killer. Is it going to be Springtrap? Is it going to be Pennywise? Is it going to be Candyman? Is it going to be Slenderman? Is it going to be the Predator? Is it going to be Vecna? Who knows? There's a lot of cool stuff going on. I don't think Vecna's going to happen, but, I'm going to throw it out there anyway because of Stranger Things days coming up. But we now know November 8th, the PTB goes live. We're going to see the Trickster Rework. We're going to see the shrinking of the maps for both Red Forest Shrunk. We're going to see Garden of Joyless get reworked a little bit. We're going to see these new player cards. I really like what's coming up with this update. I think this chapter is going to be very good for everyone. I think Made for This is going to be the one that probably gets touched a little bit. I feel like we're going to test Made for This on the PTB, and they're not going to hit it as hard because it just got crushed. I don't think that's going to happen as much. Maybe Killer Mains are going to get mad at me for that. But as a Killer Main myself, I think it's probably going to get tweaked a little bit more. Maybe they'll probably add like a 1% natural haste effect back to it. But it's going to probably get changed. I don't see it coming to live chapter in the end of November exactly like that, because at this point we should see the chapter dropping either the 28th or the 29th, depending on when they want to do it. It's a Wednesday update, which is not surprising to me, and I wouldn't be surprised if the actual paragraph drops on the 29th. Lets it clear out of Thanksgiving a little bit, makes a lot of sense. And let me know what you're thinking in the comments below. I'd love to hear everyone's feedback and comment on it. Of course, thank you for watching, and later, mates.